What's up, YouTube? It's Naj from Built by Plants. Want to welcome you all. Appreciate you all coming in and joining me tonight. I really want to help a few of you all out when it comes to losing some weight and being able to sustain it. Fun fact, today is January, or tonight is January 23rd. I want you all to know that 47% of people have already given up on their weight loss goals for this year. So many people set their goals on what they wanted to accomplish, what they were looking forward to doing when it comes to fat loss, and about 47 have already given up. Right? That's the statistics. If you look it up on Google, right, look at some of the studies that they do. The majority of people have already failed. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's not you. Maybe you're still going strong. Whatever the case is, I want to be able to help you all out, give you all some strategies and some things that you can do to lose your next 40, 30, 20, 50 pounds, right, within the next few months. Now, here's the thing. I always say when it comes to weight loss, you want to view it as a long term solution. I always say give yourself at least a year to get it right. Okay? Because it's a guarantee that you're going to mess up. It's a guarantee that you're going to fall off your diet a little bit, that you're going to eat something that you probably shouldn't have eaten at the time you probably shouldn't have eaten. It's going to take some understanding and some time to start making some good decisions, so on and so forth, right? But if you just keep going, um, hold up, let me make sure I'm live first off. It would be so messed up if I wasn't live. Let me just double check. Okay, I'm live. Good. um, you're gonna make some mistakes on your journey. It's gonna be ups. It's gonna be downs. We're going to run into situations where we can't control our circumstances. Maybe that's traveling. Maybe that's holidays, so on and so forth. So tonight, I want to help you all with a game plan for losing your next 30 pounds. Okay? And we're going to do that with the Pocket Coach. We're going to do that with the Built by Plans Pocket Coach. I'm going to give you all a game plan. But before we do that, you all might notice that the background looks a little bit different. We're actually in the process of moving right now. We're moving from our house, the apartment that we're at right now. We're moving to a new house. So I'm actually at the new house. I just got the basic setup. So it'll be looking a little bit better over time. All right. So let's jump into this. Let's jump into this. Think about this. When it comes to fat loss, one of the biggest things that I think people overlook, unfortunately, that shouldn't be overlooked is the overall calories that you're consuming. That's number one. If you want to get straight to the point, you all want to understand what's going to make the biggest difference when it comes to fat loss. It's not going to be just eating healthier, right? It's not going to be just working out. It's not going to be waking up at 4 a.m. It's not none of those things. The biggest thing that's going to make the biggest difference if you're going to lose weight, gain weight, or stay the same weight is the total amount of calories that you're consuming. Now, I'm not saying that's the only thing that matters. I'm not saying that's the only thing that you should pay attention to. But if you want to know what's going to turn the knob on and off for fat loss, you need to look at how many calories you're consuming on a daily basis. That's the first place to start. If you're in a situation to where you need to lose 30 pounds, you need to be keeping in mind when you put food in your mouth and you don't know how many calories it is, you're basically just leaving your weight loss up to who knows. You might lose weight, you might not. You want to know how many calories you're taking in. Okay, so we're going to start off with step one, and we're going to look at how many calories you should be eating. Now, before we go into looking at how many calories you should be eating for your specific situation, let's talk a little bit about what are calories, right? So, calories are essentially a fancy way of saying how much energy is in the food that you're eating. All right. Just think of calories as food, a unit of measurement for food. It's a way to determine how many energies, quote unquote, that you put in your body. So if you're eating food on a regular basis, you're eating potato chips, you're eating French fries, you're eating like foods that are processed in butter and oils and things like that. You're eating foods that have a whole lot of extra energies in them, right? And that's why these calories stack up so much. That's why it's so easy to overconsume the total calories you're taking in because you're eating foods that are really high in fats, foods that are drowned in oils and things like that. And that's going to cause you to not consume the correct amount of calories that you need for your specific body. So when you think about calories, think about energy. Just think of it as a way it's fueling your body. You're putting energy into your body. Now, when you're in what we call a calorie deficit, that's what allows us to lose weight because we're consuming fewer calories than we need to maintain our current weight. All right. The amount of weight that we have, all the fat that you can grab on your body, and those type of things, just think of that as energy. Just think of all these rolls and things. If you could grab it, think of it as just stored energy on your body because that's what it is. It's stored fat, or fat storages, if you want to call it that. It's just energy that's waiting to be burned off. So by creating a caloric deficit, a calorie deficit, consuming fewer calories than your body's taking in, that's going to allow you to start losing some weight. All right. So the number one thing that we're going to do right now that we're going to focus on is finding the amount of calories that you need to start losing some weight. So I'm going to pull up my screen and I'm going to share my screen so that you all can learn the basics of how to find your calories. Give me 1 second while I pull this up. And I want this to be interactive. If y'all have questions and things that you want to know while I'm going through this, while I'm giving you the game plan of how to lose the next 30 pounds, I want you all to ask those questions. Drop them down below. Get interactive, all right? Let me see here. Now what I'm going to do is share my screen inside of the Built by Plans Pocket Coach because it's going to be the easiest way for you all to have all the tools that you need. Now, do you need the Pocket Coach to start losing weight? No, obviously not. But as far as me showing you exactly what to do, this is what we're going to use, okay? So let's go ahead and stretch this out. And let me make sure that I'm on the screen as well. All right, here we go. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is find out how many calories we need to be eating. All right. The way that we're going to do that is by pulling up the fat loss calculator. There's an actual calculator that you can use to determine how many calories you should be taking in based off of your current circumstances. Based off of your weight, your age, your height, your activity levels on a day-to-day basis, there's a certain amount of calories you should start eating to start seeing some weight loss. Now, we want to be as specific as possible. We want to know how many calories we should start eating. Now, the quick way to do this, let's just say you weigh 300 pounds right now, right? That's what we're going to actually use. We're going to use a person that weighs 300 pounds. We're going to say they're about 5'9" and 40 years old. That's going to be the avatar that we're using. If you want to just start losing weight right away, you don't even want to go through this whole process of what I'm about to show you. Just multiply your current weight times 10, all right? And then start eating those many calories per day. So if you're 300 pounds, and you weigh, if you're 300 pounds, multiply that by 10, so that's 3,000 calories, right? And you can start losing weight at that. Now, let's get back over here. Here we go. Over here on the side, we have the fat loss calculator. And the fat loss calculator, you see me looking kind of crazy right there. I'm in mid-conversation. The fat loss calculator is going to give you the starting targets. Now, keep in mind, these are the starting targets. You're going to start losing weight with these targets here that I'm about to give you. So we're going to use a lady. We're going to say she's 40 years old. She's 5'9", and weighs 300 pounds. All right. And obviously, if you have the Pocket Coach or whatever, you can go ahead and enter your own stats. But this is how we'll get started. Let's say on a day-to-day basis, you're very sedentary. You don't move around a whole lot with little to no exercise. and your goal is weight loss. Okay. Now, right here, it can give you some calories that you can start eating at. So let's just say 2,000 calories, 2,000, 1,100. The protein intake that you need, about 151 grams, right? That's the starting point. So keep those numbers in mind. Let me go back over here. 2,000 calories, 2,011 calories with 51 grams of protein. Those are the targets that we're going to use to start losing some weight. Now, the next thing that I would do, now that I have my calories, I know how much I should be eating, is start learning how to read the nutrition labels. All right, that's going to be the second step. We'll go back to the pocket coach, and I'll show you some other cool things that you can do. But that's the starting point. We know how many calories we need to be taking in, so I will jot that down, and then we know how much protein we need. The next thing that I will start doing is learning how to read nutrition labels. So I'm going to pull up one for you. All right, let's just go ahead and let's see, what do we want? So let's use a can of beans. Let's say beans calories. Okay, so we have calories in beans. This is just an example because this is where nutrition facts will show up. This is what you want to do when you're in the grocery store, is looking at how many calories are on the food options that we're using so we can get an understanding of this. So 1 cup of beans has 239 calories with 12 grams of protein. All right. Now that's not a bad option as far as the protein intake, but this is why I always say that beans aren't necessarily a protein source, right? So this has some protein in there, but it's not a great option for protein. So you should eat it still because it's a good source of fiber, but not for protein. Don't view it as a protein option. So you want to look at these, the amount of calories, the serving size, so you can learn how to measure out your foods and make good decisions. Learn how to read nutrition labels. These are the main things you want to pay attention to on the nutrition labels. The total calories, the total protein, all right? And those are going to be the main two things. Now let me go back to that because that's a good point. Oh, I'm so sorry. I am not showing my screen. Give me 1 second. Let me redo that. 1 second. React. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's go back to that. We're looking at the calories in beans. So nutrition facts. The total amount of calories for one serving, which is 1 cup, 239 calories, 12 grams of protein. And a serving size is 254 grams, all right? So after you have your calories, after you have your protein, learn how to read nutrition facts. Learn how to look at what certain sizes are, all right? One thing you want to do and pay attention to when it comes to getting in your correct amount of protein is opting for every 100 calories, you want at least 10 grams of protein, all right? That's your measuring stick. Every 100 calories, 10 grams of protein. That's really going to help you get where you need to be. Now, you don't have to view that for every food. For example, like salads and spinach and those type of things. Those are specifically for your vitamins and your minerals, right? We need our leafy greens. We need those things. But when you're trying to determine what's a protein source, view it for every one. Like I mentioned, we just get into the new house, and I am using my hotspot for the Wi-Fi. So we're going to keep it rolling, all right? Let's see here. Give me 1 second so I can put the screen back. And we're going to keep moving. All right. 1 sec. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Let's get back to it. So what I was explaining before I was rudely interrupted by my Wi-Fi. Here we go. Where we at? We was on the calories that are in beans, all right? So let me go back to my screen. That is wild. That is crazy. Like I said, I'm using my hotspot on my phone. We just moved into our new house, and we in both houses. So the actual Wi-Fi is at our old house, but my office is in the new house, and I'm using hotspots. So bear with me, good people. Let's get back to it. So learning how to read the nutrition facts is going to be extremely valuable and beneficial for you all right? So a good measurement when it comes to the calories and you're looking for protein options, is for every 100 calories, you want 10 grams of protein. So this is beans, right? So this is why I always say beans is not a protein source because 239 calories give you 12 grams of protein, right? But the same 229 calories give you 54 grams of carbohydrates. So beans are a carb source, not a fat source, right? Which is fine, completely fine. There's no issues with that. You just have to categorize it. You still should have beans, right? And it's a great source of fiber. So you should still eat your beans, but just don't view it as a protein source. It can give you some protein, so use it as a supplementary source, but not a primary carb source. So if we get back to where we were, again, we have our calories, we have our individual, a female that's 40 years old, 5'9" and 300 pounds. And again, this is all within the Pocket Coach. If you all want access to the Pocket Coach, y'all can join for $1 for 7 days. After that, it's just $27 a month, and you'll be able to see everything that you get access to, but you can cancel at any time. It's an actual app that you all can download from the App Store. All right. You'll also be led into our community, our Discord with all of our other BBP members, and so on and so forth. So we have our calories right here, 211 with 51 grams of protein. Now, if you notice, I'm only focused on the total calories and the total amount of protein. Why is that? That's because your fats and your carbs, they don't matter for fat loss. It does not matter, right? The total amount of carbs that you're taking in, the total amount of fats that you take in. Let me go back to the main screen. It doesn't matter for fat loss. This is why all diets basically can work, right? You can be on a high fat diet, you can be on a high carb diet, low carb, low fat. It doesn't matter, right? But one thing that's usually consistent with the majority of diets is going to be being in a caloric deficit and being in, a surplus, so to speak, or getting a high amount of protein in. That's going to be consistent regardless of what diet that you're on, right? Getting a decent amount, because when you're losing fat, you're losing weight, but you're also losing muscle in the process if you're not doing it correctly, right? If you're not getting enough protein in. So a good measurement when it comes to getting protein, you want at least 0.7 grams of protein per body pound, all right? The higher, the better, which is fine. You can have a gram per body pound. Now, this only applies if you have a healthy body range, right? If you're 300 pounds like the avatar here, you'll see it says only 151 grams of protein. And I'll go back so y'all can see that right here. 151 grams of protein, right? And she's 300 pounds, right? You're not going to be trying to take in 300 grams of protein to get 1 gram per body pound. That's not going to, it can work if you just like protein, but that's a lot of protein to take in. You want to go based off your lean body weight. So if you're severely overweight, you're obese, you want to go based off of your lean body weight, your lean muscle mass. If you're weighing yourself on your scale, on a body weight scale, look at the number that's your lean body mass and go based off of that. So we have 151 grams of protein. These are the only two numbers that we're going to worry about. Now, getting straight to the point, what do we do next? We learn how to make food, right? We learn how to pick good food options. So let's go to the virtual kitchen. Now, the virtual kitchen is our online kitchen, basically, right? The virtual kitchen. And this is where we put all of our recipes, all the different things that you see on Instagram, which you can check out at Built by Plants Coaching on Instagram or at Mogul. The link should be in the description if y'all want to check those out. But all different type of recipes. We got pasta. We got lots of fun different dishes down here. If I open up the vegan scallops and creamy pasta, all of the recipes give you the amount and the ingredients that you need to be taken in order to make the meal. So right here is an image. Coming down is the nutrition facts. Under there you have the ingredients, right? And the instructions, and then a video that shows you how to replicate that meal, right? So how to make it really desirable, how to replicate the same exact things that you see us make on Instagram. So a lot of these recipes, the majority of them were made, at this point now it's a little bit 50-50, but this one was made by Raina, so you know it's gonna taste good. The cool thing about the virtual kitchen is that all of the recipes, let's just say it's not just for you, right? You're probably cooking for your, spouse, your kids, somebody. So over here, as opposed to making it right here, this is 2 servings. So it tells you the calories, but you split this in half. This isn't for one person. This is for 2 people or 2 servings, right? So let's just say you're making this meal for Monday and Tuesday. You'll divide that by two because it's for 2 days. Or you can just make it for you and your spouse and you still divide that by two, right? So you're not taking in 1,100 calories with this one meal. You're taking in half of this because you're making it for 2 people. But let's just say you want to make it for more, right? You want to make it for your kids too. When you come over here and you hit this 2 times or 3 times, it adds up the ingredients for how much you need to make it for that many people. Okay? So if I go to this recipe, creamy linguine pasta, 634 total calories, and it gives you your protein intake right here, 32.9 grams of protein. All right. And if you're making this, like I mentioned, for you and your spouse, you just tap on this 2 times right there or 3 times, and you can see that the ingredients give you the amount that you need. So when you start weighing this out, you know how much to weigh out for the specific amount of people that you're making it for, right? So no waste, none of that stuff, right? You get the. Am I on the screen? Let me make sure. Okay, I thought I thought I wasn't sharing my screen again, but I am. Good. That would have been bad. So yeah, the instructions are down here. It lets you know exactly how to make the meal. You can see what it's supposed to look like, and you can replicate it. Right now, the cool thing is, it's not just about making individual meals. Now that we have our calories, we want to know exactly what we're eating on a day-to-day basis, and I recommend you all plan out your meals. Plan out what you're going to be eating on a day-to-day basis. If you need to lose 30 pounds or more, you shouldn't just be freestyling. You shouldn't just say, okay, I know I got 2,000 calories, so I'll try to stay within that limit, especially if you haven't lost weight in a long time, especially if it's been a while since the last time you actually lost some weight, right? So take these total calories, take this total protein, write that down, all right? And then inside of the Pocket Coach, I'm going to show you all something that's really cool. Over here, you see where it says my meal plan? You all can actually design your own meal plan, right? Or you can have us design it, but it's up to you. So if I come here, you all can see that I have a meal plan laid out. So it says my meal plans, right? So Monday through Sunday, you can know exactly what you're eating every single day of the week for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snacks. Now, if I come down here under Monday at the end of the day, it shows you how many calories you're taking in, right? So 1,657 calories and 127 grams of protein based off of these meals right here. Now, keep in mind, we know how many we need to be taking in and what we need to stay under, right? So 2,000, 1,100, 151 grams of protein. So would this day work? Would Monday work? Yes, it will, because we're under those numbers, right? We're under now. That doesn't mean you want to severely eat under 2,011 calories, but if you do find yourself under that, that's completely fine, right? But you do have some wiggle room. So if I'm supposed to take in 2,011 calories and I'm only at 1,657, I got about 300 calories or so to play around with. So I can come here and I can add a snack, right? Now, the snacks that we usually recommend is fruit. So make sure that we get in all the vitamins and minerals we need. So I can say, okay, I'm going to have some chilled melon, right? And that puts us at 1747. I can add 2 servings of that. So I'm at 1837 now, right? And then I'm at 130 grams of protein. You all see this? Do you all get how this is beneficial to know exactly what you're going to be eating every single day? So on Monday for breakfast, I can eat vegan pancakes and still lose weight. For lunch, I have like a burrito style bowl. For dinner, tacos. For my snacks, melon, right? And it doesn't have to be this. It can be, I can literally say, okay, I don't want to have no pancakes on Monday, right? Let's say I want to have a shake or something. something that's quick, right? Because you got to go to work in the morning. You don't want to be up trying to make pancakes before work. You can have a strawberry banana milkshake. Or if you don't want that, I can say, okay, I want to give me a green smoothie. I can have my green smoothie for breakfast, right? And then I can add, since the green smoothie is less calories than those pancakes, it brought down my total calories to 1622. So guess what else you can do? I can come and add more snacks if I wanted to. Let me go back right here under snacks. I can add more snacks. I can say I also want this green smoothie for a snack as well, in addition to that breakfast. So that's how you can go in and you can play around with your meals and you know that you're still under your total calories. But more importantly, you're not guessing what you're going to be eating on a day to day basis. You can look at your meal plan and you can change things out, right? Let's say, I don't want to eat a chicken salad for lunch on Tuesday. I'm not really feeling that. All right, I'm gonna go in and I think for lunch, let's just do a salad, a regular salad, right? I don't want the chicken salad. Let's do a vegan bomb protein salad, and I'm gonna have that, right? So now I'm at 1635 calories for that day. So you get the feeling, you get the idea. You can play around with your meal plan, and as long as you're within that calorie range, 2011, like we said, make sure that your days are at 2011 with 151 grams of protein roughly. This is going to help you get started with losing weight. Is this making sense, you all? This is going to help you start losing weight because you know how much you're going to be eating on a day-to-day basis. And this is how you build out your meal plans. Let me remove some of this stuff. This is how you build out your meal plan so you know what to be taking in and what to eat day to day. And you can always make adjustments. Now, the cool thing is, obviously, after you build out your meal plan, you need your shopping list. You need your grocery list, right? So you tap up here with this icon, and it's going to automatically generate a grocery list for you. You can pick the days that you want to go grocery shopping for. Tap on the generate shopping list one more time, and you got a full list of all of your items that you need to go grocery shopping for. Right? So if you're already at the house and you know that you have some of these items already, you can start checking them off, and then once you get to the grocery store, you can check the rest of the items off. The cool thing is this is not just a website. Like I mentioned, this is an app as well if you have an iPhone. So anything that you tap up here or any changes you make to your meal plan on your desktop, it'll automatically sync to the app as well. So you can log in on the desktop or on the actual app from the App Store, right? So like I mentioned, if you all want access to this, just go to builtbyplants.io and then you can sign up for a dollar trial for 7 days. And if you don't like it, if you don't want to use it, then just cancel it. But everyone that uses it, if they actually use it, they enjoy it and love it, and it's helping them lose weight. So that's what I will do. That's how we'll go about getting started, right? Now, the thing is, once you get started and you start going grocery shopping, you buy your foods and things, the next piece, after you figure out your calories, you know how many calories you're taking in, you have a meal plan that's designed for you to start losing weight, and then you also have your grocery list and all those different things, right? Everything's laid out for you. You have all these details. You got your groceries. What you want to do is start simplifying the process. You don't want to try to make all of your food every single day. You may want to meal prep some stuff. So this is why I always recommend don't try to make your meal plan so, what's the best way to put it? Don't try to have so much variety with your meal plan, right? And I know some people don't want to hear that, but trust me, the easier that you have your meal plan, if you keep it simple, the more weight you lose and the more that you can stick with it. It's cool if you just transitioning to a plant-based diet, you're just going vegan, and you want to try out different recipes or you want to see what you like that's cool to go through that period of time. But the majority of people, when they're working with me, our clients, they keep it simple because that's the easiest way to sustain it, right? And again, if you're in a space where you need to lose a lot of weight, you probably already had enough fun with food, right? You've already had enough fun meals and different things like that. It's time to lock in and buckle in and build out a structure that makes it simple for you and a routine so you don't have to be trying to cook a whole bunch of different meals every day and figure out all these different things. You want to keep it simple. Simplify. and just learn what it takes. Get a food scale so you can start weighing out your foods, weighing out those amounts, and fixing up your recipes so you can meal prep. And when you meal prep, and I always say, if you've been following the channel for a while, when you meal prep, literally just start by meal prepping your lunches. If you start by just meal prepping your lunches, it's going to take so much stress off of you, especially if you got an office job or even if you work from home. Just start meal prepping your lunches, right? Even if you don't want to prep all 7 days or 5 days, just do it for 3 days and start there. And it's going to automate the process of you losing weight. Because then when you have your meals already planned out, you already weighed out the amounts, and you're under the correct amount of calories, all you have to do is just grab the food out the microwave, or not the microwave, grab it out the refrigerator, throw it in the mic or reheat it or whatever you need to do, and then eat, right? You're just eating and losing weight, eating and losing weight, because you don't have to worry about cooking as much if you just meal prep like on a Sunday or whatever your off day is. And if you can do that, if you can stick to that, and just start with just your lunches. Maybe you still cook your dinners at night on a daily basis because you want a fresh dinner or whatever it may be. If you can stick to just meal prepping your lunches, it's going to save you so much stress. And you're going to realize you're able to stick with it for a lot longer because you don't have to worry about cooking every single day, right? So I really recommend, I'm stressing this over and over, at least try to prep your lunches when you're getting started. Prep your lunches. The simplest plan that I can give to you all for weight loss, from my experience and working with people, working with clients all around the world, the simplest layout is to start with a smoothie in the morning, right? I recommend intermittent fasting because, it makes it a lot easier if you have a busy life, right? Now, the reason that intermittent fasting works, it's not magical. It's not something that, it's going to make you lose weight automatically. It works because it disciplines your eating, right? It's a way of time restricting your eating. So you're only eating through periods of time, let's just say from 8 to 12, right? The most popular form of intermittent fasting is 16-8, meaning you're fasting for 16 hours and you're only eating within an 8 hour window period of time. So it can be from 8 to 12, 1 to 9, 11 to 7, right? And those are the times that you're eating. And then outside of those hours, you're not eating. So what you can do is, in between 12 lunchtime, you have your first meal, maybe you have a snack, or maybe you have 3 meals, whatever it may be, whatever structure, and you're only eating between 12 p.m. and 8 p.m. Outside of those hours, you're not eating, right? So if the goal is to only eat within a specific period of time, what is going to help you stay a little bit more full because you're eating a lot of food within a certain period of time, and then outside of that time you're not eating. So it kind of helps you build out more discipline, more structure, so you're not just eating all times of the day or whenever you find yourself getting hungry, and you're starting to train your body to get hungry during certain times, right? So you may want to figure out like a strategy like that. And again, inside the Pocket Coach, we have a section that's called Positional Eating Strategies, where it gives you different ways that you can eat. It talks about calorie cycling, all these different type of concepts and things that would be beneficial. So find out an eating strategy to eat your meals. But even if you don't, the easiest meal plan is for breakfast, a smoothie. If you are going to have breakfast, because it's quick, you can make it within like 5 minutes, right? It don't take too much time to make a smoothie. Some people even meal prep their smoothies. Raina was doing it for a period of time. Everything that she was going to put in her smoothie, she just put it in a bowl. So in the morning time, she just take everything that was in her bowl, throw it in the blender, and then go. And then I even gave her my travel blender. So she took my travel blender to her job, and that's just sitting at work. So she just bring her little smoothie ingredients inside of a bowl. Lunchtime comes, or whenever she has it comes, she just blend it up, and then she's good to go. So a smoothie for breakfast, for lunch, a burrito bowl, really simple, and they taste great, the same way that Chipotle would make them. And then for dinner, that's when you can have a little bit more fun. So, you can have like a salad, pasta, you could do tacos, all those different type of things, as long as you're paying attention to the calories that are inside those foods, right? As long as you're paying attention to the amounts that you're using and making sure that you're staying within those calorie amounts that are inside of those meal plans that you create, right? So That's going to be the easiest route for you for getting started. You know your calorie total. You know how many calories and how much protein you should be taking in. Hopefully, you all are taking notes on these things. You know how many calories and how much protein you're taking in. You know what foods you're eating because you built out your meal plan, right? And you know what you're going to be eating on a day to day basis. Then you have your grocery list so you can do your grocery shopping. Then you meal prepped all of your lunches so you can put it on autopilot a little bit more. The next thing you want to do is start tracking your progress, right? When you're tracking your progress, what happens? You know your starting point. You know how much weight you weigh at the start, but you don't want to just depend on the weight because depending on your weight to determine whether or not you're progressing or not is not the best route. That's only one way to tell your progress. And you're going to get so fixated on your weight going down because it will start to go down if you do these things I'm telling you. But you're going to get so fixated and you're going to want to depend on your weight going down to be your measurement of success or not. And you don't want to depend on that. What you want to depend on is several factors, several ways of tracking your progression. So yes, track your weight, but also track your body pics. Take pics. A front pic, side pic, back pic. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know the structure of everybody when they say those pics, right? Take those pics. After you take those pics, then you want to also have a body weight scale that tells your body weight. Or I'm sorry, a body weight scale. Obviously, you want to take a body weight. You want a body weight scale that tells your body fat percentage. Because if you can get your body fat percentage, and obviously, if you don't know what body fat percentage is, it's just a percentage of your body that's fat, right? The overall percentage of you as a person that has fat, right? So you want to the goal is to get to a healthy body fat percentage because weight is arbitrary, right? Some people look great at 200 pounds. Some people look horrible at 200 pounds based on their own vision of themselves. It just depends on how you actually are looking and what your overall percentage of your body is, right? But you don't want to depend on your weight because your body also has muscles. So if you're training, which we'll get to, if you're training and working out, you're going to be building muscle. And muscle also weighs weight. So if you're just depending on your weights to determine if you're progressing or not, what can start to happen is you can start to build muscle and lose fat at the same time. So your weight may not be going down as much as you would like, but you're building muscle in the process, which is what you do want. So the reason we're having these different measurements and these different things to determine our progression is because you can be building muscle and losing fat. And if you're only tracking your body weights, you're going to be setting yourself up for failure, even though you're actually progressing because you're just thinking your body weight's supposed to go down. You're not keeping in mind that you're also building muscle and such, right? And even though you're building muscle, you can still be losing fat without your weight dropping so much. So you want to track all these things. Track your body weight, track your progress pics, track your body fat percentage, and if you want, track your measurements. You can track your measurements because maybe there's a specific body part that you really want to see changing. Maybe you want to see your midsection going down, right? So you want to track that. Get a measurement tape, measure tape, and track the inches on there. Maybe you want to see your legs go down. Maybe your arms. You want to see your arm fat go down, right? Some of those things can go down because, to be honest, when it comes to fat loss, losing fat, we can't determine where we're losing fat at first, right? That's not something that we can pick. We can't say, oh, I want to lose fat in just my arms and I don't really care about like my legs. Or I want to lose fat in just my stomach. I don't want to lose it in my arms that much. Like you can't pick where fat loss happens. It's based off of genetics, right? It's like predisposition. Like we already, like the fat that we have is already determined where we're going to gain it the most and where we're going to lose it the most. And this is different for everybody. I'm kind of like the majority of guys where the majority of my weight, it goes directly to my stomach. When I start to gain weight, it goes to my stomach. It's the first place to come. It's the last place to go, right? So when you're dieting and you're losing fat and there's a certain area that you really want to focus in on, the only thing that you can do to make fat loss occur in that area is to keep dieting, right? So if you're noticing that you're losing weight and you're seeing your face get slimmer a little bit maybe, or your arms slimming down, but your stomach isn't slimming, you just got to keep dieting. That's it. It's nothing that you can do to lose fat faster in a certain area, right? Now you can train, you can't spot reduce fat, but you can spot train muscle. And what does that mean? Let's say you don't like the fat on your arms, you don't like how your arms look, right? Because there's two. We just moved over to the new house and we're still moving. The Wi-Fi is connected to. It's over at the old house. I'm at the new house right now. Right now, I was getting some work done, so I'm using a hotspot on my phone, and my phone just died. I don't know why I didn't have it plugged in. My bad. I'm back. We good. So let's continue. So what I was just talking about was that you can't spot reduce, right? You can't spot reduce fat, but you can spot train. You can make the area that you want to lose weight in. You can make that area be more developed, be more defined, and it's going to be key for y'all. I think that this is, if you're not doing this already, if you're not weight training and you're trying to lose fat, if I'm being honest, if you have like certain aesthetic goals, and even not aesthetic, but maybe performance goals, you just want to get stronger, you want to feel better, right? Like literally physically feel better on a day to day basis, weight training is the way to go, honestly. And I'm not saying you got to be no bodybuilder or no power lifter, no strong man, nothing like that, but just lift if you want to look good or lift for health purposes. You build bone density as we get older. I'll be 33 in like, how many days? 16 days. My birthday is the 8th of February. You make sure that you say it that way. Not February 8th, the 8th of February. If they call it the 4th of July, I get the 8th of February. But I'll be 33, right? And, some people still say it's young, but young people say it's old. I know I thought 33 was a granddaddy when I was like 21. But think about it. The older that we get, the longer that we spend time on this earth, and we're not doing challenging things, our bone density goes down. That's why older people become more brittle, right? When I'm in my 40s, I'm not going to be as, well, I mean, if I'm being honest, I'm going to still be athletic. I'm going to still be working out, still be training and all that stuff. But, as a natural occurrence, we just start to lose weight. I mean, some people stay the same weight, but we start to lose a lot of things that we had in our youth. We start to lose bone density. We start to lose athleticism. We start to lose motivation sometimes. We start to lose drive. We start to lose a lot of these things that are beneficial. And one of those things is just the ability to do normal, regular things. Our energy goes down, but when you weight train, you reverse a lot of that stuff. When you're lifting weights, you develop the ability to do things that you probably couldn't do before you were weight training. Like me right now, I'm way stronger, way more fit than I was when I was 21. Now I was probably a little bit more athletic at 21, right? Like I could run, jump, dunk, all that type of stuff. But that's just because as I got older, I stopped playing basketball as much, right? So that's just due to me not being as active as I was. But as far as strength and feeling strong and looking strong, me right now compared to when I was 21, a much better version of myself. And that can happen regardless of what age you are. It don't matter if you're in your 60s, your 70s, your 80s. Starting right now where you are is way better if you don't start at all, right? It's kind of like the same thing when they talk about is it too late to start a business in 2023, or too late to start an online business, or too late to start a YouTube channel, or too late to doing these things. The best time to start was always yesterday, right? Or 5 years ago. But the next best time is right now. Like, we don't plan on leaving this earth anytime soon, right? That doesn't mean it can't happen, but we don't plan on it. So it's best to be the best version of yourself currently right now. I can go into a whole nother tangent talking about that stuff, but weightlifting will be extremely key to your goals. If you're trying to look a certain way, and let's be honest, we all want to look better. Some people say they don't, but yes, you do. You want to look better. You want to like the person that you see when you look in the mirror, right? So weight training will help you accomplish that. And if you're losing weight without weight training, you can still do it, obviously. You don't need to weight train, lift weights or any of that stuff to lose fat, right? You can do it strictly through your diet because that's where it's controlled, but it helps. It helps you build a more desirable physique to yourself. It helps you feel better, right? It helps with not losing muscle in the process while you're dieting, maintaining your muscle, if not building more muscle. And if you're a lady and you're worried about looking bulky, not going to happen, right? You got to have the genetics to look uh, muscular, as you call it. You know, some people like to say looks too manly or whatever it may be. Like people that look, like really jacked, women that look really jacked and look like, really strong, stronger than men, there's only one or two reasons. One, they have the genetics for it and they trained with those genetics, right? They come from a family of athletes and fit people. Their mom and dad were probably fit, or their grandparents and things like that. Or two, steroids, performance enhancement drugs, right? And when I say genetics, I'm not saying it in a bad way. Genetics, having good genetics is amazing. I wouldn't necessarily say I have good genetics for like bodybuilding or any of those type of things or building muscle. And the reason why I say that is um, uh, they always say look at the size of your wrist and the size of your ankles to determine if you have good genetics for like building muscle and bodybuilding genetics and stuff like that. I have relatively small wrists, right? So that's like one determining factor. But again, let's not get knocked off track. Um, Lifting weights while weight training will help you build a more desirable physique. It's going to make your weight loss process go a lot faster and be a lot more enjoyable because you're going to see progress a lot faster than what you would have if you weren't lifting weights. You're going to see your body actually changing in a mirror a lot faster, and you're going to like the look that you see, right? You're going to like that physique. You're going to see yourself getting more defined. You're going to see the changes within your arms, your legs, your back, like all these different areas, right? So lock in on those things. Now I'm gonna give you all a quick recap. Number one, you gotta find out how many calories you're consuming, right? Because calories is key. That's the only really the main thing that you need to lose weight. Calories. If you're overweight right now, if you don't like the weight that you're currently at, the truth is you're just consuming too many calories. That's it. That's it. That's all. If y'all like this, please give me a like. Hit that like button. Appreciate it. If you're consuming too many calories, you're gonna gain weight, right? So you need to create a caloric deficit. To create a caloric deficit, the easiest way, if you don't want to do all the things that I showed you with the Pocket Coach, whatever your weight is right now, multiply that by 10 and start eating at those calories. Multiply it by 10, right? So if you weigh 250 calories, multiply that by 10. That's 2,500 calories. Start eating around 2,500 calories per day, and you'll notice that you'll start losing weight over time. Your weight loss will start to happen, and you'll start to enjoy the results that you're getting. Now, when I say start eating 200 or 2,500 calories or 2,500 calories, don't try to eyeball. Don't try to guess, right? You want a meal plan, And I'm not saying you got to get one from us. You can design it yourself, right? I recommend you use the Pocket Coach. So if you design it yourself, you at least know what you're doing and you can see it visually, right? I just shared it with you all right here. If I go back, y'all can check it out. The actual meal plan. You can design your meal plan and know exactly what you're eating on a day-to-day basis. So this is why I designed it a little earlier. And if y'all just coming in, y'all can watch the replay. But I took the calories from the fat loss calculator inside the Pocket Coach. A lady that's 40 years old, 5'9", 300 pounds, sedentary, and she want to lose weight. Got some calories here, so she know how many calories she's taking in. She know how much protein she's taking in. The carbs and the fats do not matter for fat loss. That's why there's high carb diets and people lose weight. That's why there are high fat diets and people lose weight. The reason why all those diets work is because you're still in a calorie deficit. They try to paint them as they're a magical diet, but it's not. It's rules and principles. 2,000 calories, 2,100 calories, 151 grams of protein. The reason why you need to be in a deficit is because you're taking in too much energy. The reason why you need to worry about the protein is because you don't want to lose muscle mass while you're losing weight, right? And you also actually want to build it. So from there, you build out your meal plan. Monday, you know how many calories you're taking in. You got all your meals mapped out. You got your breakfast, lunch, dinner with your snacks. You see that adds up to 1945, right? And then you got your protein, 170 grams. Is it okay if you go over your protein intake? because this was 151 and now it's at 170 grams. Perfectly fine. More is completely fine. Just make sure that you're staying within that calorie range. This is 1947, 45. Is it all right to eat under the calories? Yes, nothing's gonna happen, except for weight loss. So you want to make sure that you have a structure so that you know how many calories you're taking in. You don't want to guess, right? You want to be able to look at your plan and know that you're sticking within your diet. You're sticking within your calorie limits. Now down here, these are a little bit over. I didn't go in and build the whole meal plan. I just want to show you all how you can do this, right? And then you can get your grocery list. After you have your fat loss calories, after you have your protein, after you build your meal plan, you get your grocery list. So all those meals that were just on that meal plan, the grocery list items are right here, and it automatically generates for you. So you can start checking it off. And like I mentioned, this is an actual app from the App Store. So after you get your $1 trial for 7 days, you can go to the Apple App Store and download the app. You type in Built by Plants, but only after you go to builtbyplants.io or tap the link in the description and you can get access to the dollar trial, right? So that's how that works. Now, going back to what I was just talking about as far as the order, after you have your grocery list, after you follow all those things, meal prep, at least your lunches. Don't worry about meal prepping every single meal. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves because we're just trying to lose our first 30 pounds, right? Go step by step, little by little. Just meal prep your lunches. I have a video on this channel. If you just go to my page, it shows you how to do a vegan meal prep for your lunches using burrito bowls. Easiest order, smoothie for breakfast because it's super simple. You can make it in 5 minutes, right? Lunch, a burrito bowl, the same way you would go to Chipotle, you make your own burrito bowl because you can control the ingredients, you can control the amounts, and you can control the calories so you know you're in a caloric deficit. After that, you can meal prep your lunches. You can meal prep your dinners if you want, or you can just make your dinners on that specific day. It's a little bit easier because sometimes we have enough time once we get home, we can make a dinner. If you got a family and such, I'm gonna show you all something cool if you're just tuning in on how you can make your meals if you are using the Pocket Coach. Inside of here, we have a virtual kitchen. And the virtual kitchen is all of our recipes. So let's just say you want to make the pineapple fried rice for your family for dinner, right? It gives you the calories, how many calories you need to be taking in for this meal. It gives you the ingredients and then a how-to video, right? Now, if it's more than just you, it's more than one person. Let's say you got a family of 7. You got you, your spouse, and what is that? 5 kids, however many. You can drag this up. Now, notice when I'm dragging this, the ingredients are changing. So from one person to 7 people, it gives you the ingredients of how much you need to make in that meal so you can feed 7 people, right? It automatically does that for you. That's why the Pocket Coach is so powerful. All these different tools, all these things are in one place on your phone or desktop because it syncs. So you want to actually experiment and figure out foods that you like, foods that you enjoy, right? Now, once you start to do this, you start to get into a rhythm. You start to get into a habit, right? You start to realize, oh, okay, so I can play around with my foods and things like that. But don't go too far with this because a lot of people want to try a whole bunch of different meals and make all different type of stuff. Keep it simple. The more routine that you can make it, if you can eat the same thing more than once throughout the week, I recommend eating the same lunch every day, at least your lunch. Switch up your dinners if you want, but eat the same lunch every day. You want this whole process on autopilot. Make your lunches on a Sunday when you got some time. Try to do it for your work week, 5 days, Monday through Friday. Simplify, 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 right? And then the next week, if you want some different lunches, if you're tired of eating that, then you rotate it. The name of the game is simplicity. You don't want to overcomplicate things. We're not trying to have the most exquisite, magnificent diet of all time. We want to hit an outcome, right? That outcome is not just fat loss, right? Because when I say losing your next 30 pounds, losing weight essentially involves you changing your identity of how you act on a day-to-day basis. In order for you to get from where you are right now, if you have to, and it's not just about 30 pounds, it can be 10 pounds, it could be 50, 100 pounds, right? In order to drop 100 pounds, you have to change the individual that you are right now because you have a 100 pounds overweight mindset right now. The way that you operating on a day-to-day basis is supporting you weighing over 100 pounds or being overweight 100 pounds. And I say it like that because I want you to recognize and realize that the individual, if you've been overweight 100 pounds for like the last 6 months, you've been consistent with being overweight 100 pounds and maintaining that weight. So the same way that you've been consistent with that, you can be consistent with building up your habits to be a new person and to develop a new identity, right? To see yourself in a different way. So all these things can happen. Weight loss is not that difficult, right? It can be challenging. It's an up and down, journey, right? And it can be annoying because you have to do certain things. It's a long process, but it can happen. It's happened for a lot of people, not just me, for my clients and such. I try to do interviews on here where I'm interviewing the clients and showing you all how they, lose weight and the things that they went through, right? And being a part of the community. But it's possible. It's not anything that's super complex. It's not anything that can't be done. And the reason why I develop these tools, why I give you all access to like the Pocket Coach and all these things for low pricing, because to be honest, the Pocket Coach that can be, you know, $300 per month for just access to that app, right? If I mean, there are people that charge access to their apps for like $300 a month. Like that's not a crazy thing, but it's only $27 a month, and you can cancel at any time. And I make those things affordable at that price range because I want to help as many people as possible. Because I was that person that was overweight. I was the person that needed the Built by Plans Pocket Coach. I developed this for myself. The previous version of myself when I was overweight, right? When I didn't know what to do. When I didn't know I can just start weighing out my foods with a food scale, eating in a caloric deficit, eating high protein, low calorie meals, and still enjoying the meals that I'm eating. I didn't know any of these things. I had to learn this over years and years and years, like different resources, different studies, taking certification courses, spending money, all these different type of things, right? And eventually, over time, I started making some progress and realizing it. And I went on this journey of documenting everything. I have, I took pictures every single day of how I looked, every single day. And y'all know I got videos on here where I'm talking about take your shirt off so you can be more aware of how you're looking throughout the day, right? You need to visually see what you're trying to lose. So I started documenting all that stuff. I started looking at myself, realizing that this is something I wanted to change, and I started taking it serious, right? So I developed these apps and these tools and things for that previous version of myself when I was struggling, when I didn't know what to do to lose weight. I didn't know what to eat. I didn't even know that I could actually lose weight until I started making some progress, right? My goal was to see if I can get a six pack for the first time, and I accomplished that. So everything I learned in that process and everything that I need to know, I simplified that and I put it inside the Pocket Coach. So y'all can check it out. I want all you all to grab a free trial. Well, it's $1, so might as well call it free, right? Try it out for 7 days, or not. I really don't care, honestly. Don't do it. You can still Google fat loss calculator, right? You can Google low calorie meals. You can Google all these things, right? Now it's going to be a little bit more complex because you got to pull resources together and stuff. But it's not like there's anything that can't be found online. So you all should get access to these resources. The main thing I want you all to walk away with is just to take action. There's so many times that I don't have conversations with people and getting them motivated and they're getting inspired about hearing my story and wanting to talk with me and these different type of things. And then I check in with them, a month later to see what's going on, and they gain more weight, right? They say life got in the way, things came up, right? So I want you all to take action on this stuff right now because now is the time. Like I said at the beginning of this call, like at least 43 to 47% of the people that set New Year's goals have stopped. It's January 23rd. Almost half of the people that set goals for fat loss and rebuilding their bodies and all these different type of things have stopped within the same month that they set it. And I don't want that to be you. I want you to actually reach that goal, right? Change that identity, change who you are as a person because it's possible. Like nothing I'm saying right now is magic. Nothing I'm saying right now is something that you can't get up and start doing tomorrow. You can start taking action on this stuff and see within the next 3 months how much progress you can make. All this stuff is real. It's not selling a dream. It's not. I'm not telling you anything that's crazy. I'm not saying go take this pill, right? I'm not even telling you to grab the supplements behind me. These are the Built by Plan supplements, but those aren't even required, right? Those are at the top of the pyramid. Actually, let me share with you all. Like within the Pocket Coach, that's the very top. If you look when it comes to fat loss, what I recommend for fat loss, I'm saying at the very bottom is your calories. Pay attention to your calories. You're over consuming too many calories. Then your macros, your carbs, fats, and proteins, primarily proteins. Then your micronutrients. Now I'm not saying overall this is how you should eat for everything, but specifically for fat loss. Then your micronutrients. Then your meal timing and meal frequency. And then supplements. Supplements are the last thing, right? Supplements, like taking a specific supplement isn't going to make you lose weight, right? Now, do they help? Hell yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. They definitely do help. They help a ton. It makes it more convenient. It makes it fun, right? It makes it more enjoyable. It can expedite the results, right? It can make it more optimal, but they're not the end all be all. They're not even the starting point, right? Just start by moving more. Start by eating better. Start by doing the things that you can control, right? Even if that is like, for example, you can't work out right now, or I think everybody can work out for the most part, unless you got some sort of disability or handicap or whatever it may be. But just start by getting up and going for a walk. I was just on Instagram the other day, and I was talking with I did a live, and I was talking with one of the guys that joined the live, and he was like, "How would you like? What would you recommend for me to start?" Y'all can check the live out actually on my Instagram at Mogul. But he was like, "What?" I forgot the specific question. Something about what would you recommend him to start doing to seeing some progress with losing weight. And I told him just wake up every single day, drink 8 to 16 ounces of water in the morning. As soon as you wake up, 8 to 16 ounces of water, and plan in to just go walking for 10 minutes per day. That's your starting point because he said he was overweight. He's trying to make a change. 10 minutes a day. Go for a walk. That's it. Drink your water. Go for a walk. Why did I recommend him that? Because I'd rather you do those two things and build them into your new habits and do them on a day-to-day basis and be consistent with those things than me telling you like, yeah, buy this weight training program and buy this meal plan and start doing this every single day, because most people can't change like that. Most people can't make that drastic of an adjustment into their life and be consistent with it. They can do it for a little bit of period of time, but most people can't. So start simple. Start with the easy things that you can control. You can control if you drink some water. That's within your ability. You can lift up some water and drink it, right? That's not that difficult. You can go for a walk for 10 minutes. Even if you're not outside, walk your stairs. If you're at work on your lunch break, walk for 10 minutes. Those little things you can do. That takes a total of 12 minutes out of your 24 hours. Or let's say 16 hours if you're sleeping 8 of them, right? These are very doable, actionable things. And you can control those, because a lot of times we like to blame our results or us not being able to lose weight on other factors, whether it's our schedule and those type of things. Start with the smallest little thing that you can introduce into your life and start making an adjustment from there. Start making some changes from there. Those things are controllables. Control your controllables, right? Then if you do that for a week, say, okay, well, I woke up every day, I drank my 8 to 16 ounces of water, I did my steps, my walks for 10 minutes a day. Let me see if I can do it again this week, right? Make it a challenge. I always say make it a game. There's a course inside the Pocket Coach where I talk about making this overall thing a game. Challenge yourself, right? We have these bodies. This is the only place that we have to live. Forget the house, forget our car, forget our job. We live here, inside of this thing. So you want to treat it that way. You want to treat it like this the only place that you have to live. So make it a game, right? Play mind games with yourself. Convince yourself that you enjoy these type of things. It don't have to be something that's a struggle that you hate and can't stand, right? When I'm working out and I'm like trying to improve and get stronger in things. For example, today I had a session at the our old house because my equipment is still in the garage. Um, I was doing my deadlifts and I'm trying to get stronger with it, right? I'm focused on every week just getting a little bit stronger. Like the last 3 weeks on my top set. So when I'm doing my deadlifts, I add an extra weight, extra rep, should I say, every single week, every Monday when I'm doing my deadlifts. I try to add one more rep to that top set, right? And see if I can do just one more. And I look at my old score because I keep track of it. I look at the deadlifts that I did the last week. I was like, okay, last week I did 3 reps. And this is real, I'm not making this up. I was like, last week I did 3 reps. Today I'm doing 4 reps. I don't care what goes on. I don't care what I gotta do. I'm getting 4 reps. Because the week prior to last week, I did 2 reps on my top set. And that's my goal. So next Friday, not Friday, next Monday, I'm going for 5 reps on that same with that same weights for that same top set. And I make it a game. Like I'm not gonna be weaker than I was the week before. I'm not going to let myself the last week outdo myself and who I can be this upcoming week. Right? Make it mental. And you convince yourself that these things are fun until it becomes a part of who you are where you don't have to convince yourself anymore. And I enjoy that type of stuff. It pumps me up, it gets me going because it motivates me. It makes me challenge myself to see what I can actually do with this body that I have. Right? We only have it for so many years on this planet. The majority of us aren't going to live 100 years. So let's see what we can do with our body while we have it. Let's see if we can rebuild and be the best version of ourselves for the age that we're currently at. Right? If you're 40 years old watching this, you're 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, right? 90 years old, be the fittest, strongest version of yourself at 90. Be the best looking 90-year-old that your family has ever seen, right? Like you want to be somebody that you're. This is one of the things that also motivates me because when I was younger, I didn't have any bigger brothers. I didn't have like anybody to look up to or anything like that. So I always wanted that. And as I started getting older, I had to change my mindset. And it's like, let me be that person that I wanted to be when I was younger to somebody else. I have a little brother. My little brother is 16. He'll be 17 this year. And one of my goals was to be that person for him, to be somebody that he can show off to his friends and such. And so that he can, be like, look, this is my brother. This is what my brother look like. Look how strong my brother is, right? And if you got kids, maybe you don't have a little brother or sister or whatever. If you got kids, that's how you should want to be for your kids. You should want to be somebody that inspires them. You should want to be somebody that your kids show off and be like, damn, look at my mama, she look good. Look at my dad, he jacked as hell. Right? Like you should want to be that person for your family or whoever it is that people show off. And you can do that. That's very doable. Right? But you have to push yourself. Even if it's not for somebody else, just be the version of yourself that you always wanted to be. Be the person that you're proud of looking in the mirror. Be the person that you wake up every day, you go in the mirror, you look up, you lift your shirt up to look at your midsection because you're so proud of the progress that you made. And all that starts with everything that I just talked about today. Making those small little steps, right? You're trying to lose 30 pounds, start with the smallest little detail, the smallest little thing. Do one more thing that you didn't do last week. If last week you didn't work or exercise not one day, go to the gym just one day this week for 10 minutes. That's a PR. That's a personal record. If you didn't go to the gym no days last week, just go to the gym tomorrow or Wednesday. Walk in there and then walk out if you're nervous, right? That's more than you did last week. Just start with that. And then the next day, go back to the gym, walk in there, and then sit at a machine. Sit down at a little chest press machine, do a couple reps. So sit down, grab a dumbbell, do a couple of squats, and then walk out. 3 minutes in the gym, and leave. The next day, come back, do a couple of sets, right? Or play around with a couple of exercises. Maybe you're brand new to the gym. Just start with reading the instructions on exercises, right? Or just YouTube a couple of exercise equipment, machines, or whatever it may be that you like, that you see, you want to try. Watch the video on how to do it, and then go in there and just do it. Go in there and play around with the movements, to play around with the exercises. Use this as a learning experience. You got to embrace this stuff. It's not going to ever just happen. You're never going to just wake up one day and just be fit or be, whatever that version of yourself that you want. Like, you got to put in the work, but the work don't have to be intimidating. You can start with the smallest increment and then just build and build and build, right? Little building blocks, one day at a time. Just be 1% better than you were the day before. If you didn't do anything yesterday, if you messed up on your diet, you overate, you ate some snacks, you ate some chips, you ate some cookies, ice cream, whatever it may be, that's fine. Just accept it for what it is. The next day, you have a whole new slate, a whole new opportunity to make a change. Don't let what happened the day before ruin the next day, because you can change it, right? Something that Jim Rohn always talks about. You all can type in Jim Rohn. He was the man. He passed in like 2012, about 11 years ago. It's like a motivational speaker and a bunch of other stuff. But I can't remember this quote verbatim. But one of the things he always said was, if you don't like who you are, you can change yourself. You're not a tree, right? Trees, they can't do too much to change themselves, except for when the winter change or when the seasons change. They just change with the seasons. But you can change tomorrow. You can do something different tomorrow. You don't have to be the person or the version of yourself that you don't like. You can literally consume some information. Let this be the inspiration for making an adjustment tomorrow. Start by doing those small little things, those small little details. All this stuff. Use everything as inspiration, right? When you're on social media and you following fit people and things like that, use that as a source of information. Something that helped me change my mindset was whenever I saw something that I liked, or I saw something that like made me feel a certain type of way, where I never felt jealous about it. I always use it as an inspiration. If I seen somebody that was fit and looked dope when I was out of shape years and years ago, when I didn't have the body I want, when I was ashamed of how I looked, I never took my shirt off. Right? I'm from Chicago. We got nice beaches. I never went growing up because I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like taking my shirt off. Right? Well, as I got older, I started embracing the fact that we are humans. We have the ability to change. Right? We're essentially our clay. If we're overweight, we can rebuild how we look. We don't have to stay the same forever. We can change all these little variables. And something that helped me change my mindset was every time I seen somebody that motivated me or inspired me, instead of like a lot of people do, which is just get jealous or envy it, I always say that means me too. If I can visually see a person that looks the way I want, you may not look exactly like them, right? Because you don't know the circumstances or situations. They may have been training for 20 years, right? They could be 30 and trained since they was 10. Or more than likely, or it's most likely nowadays, they could be on steroids or PEDs or whatever. But I use that as a source of inspiration. When I see something that I want, I say that means me too, meaning it's possible for me the same way it's possible for them. Like, they're not a robot. They're not like a, you know, unicorn or anything like that. I can do the same exact thing that they're doing. So use that, and then you find a way to actually execute it, though. You know, don't just let that be a saying that you don't take advantage of, right? Use these little tools and things. Hopefully, you all are like jotting some notes or whatever, or you know, press the replay, afterwards or tomorrow or whatever. But use all these little tools to your advantage. Like, don't leave this earth without accomplishing what you want with your physique and your body, your health, because you can change all that stuff, all of it. I help so many people change how they feel about themselves, change the way they look, change their health related diseases, reverse them, right? Like, change these the high blood pressures and diabetes and all these different type of things. The majority of stuff is health related. It's about the food that you put in your mouth. You can control what you pick up and put in your mouth. You don't have to just let anything control you, right? Food don't control you. You make the decision. You wake up every single day and you control what you want. You just have to you have to stop operating on autopilot for the bad things. You should operate on autopilot for the things that's going to help you rebuild your physique and rebuild the person that you want to become. Because you can do that. It's a controllable. It's something that you can fix. You just have to be aware of the fact that you want to fix it. And then you start making those changes. You start developing yourself, studying, reading new information, right? Even if it's just 10 minutes a day. Listen to one of these talks. Listen to, replay this. If you're feeling inspired by this, download this video and clip out this part that made you feel inspired. And play that every day if you need it. I do it. Whenever I hear somebody talking and it really hits me and it resonates, like, damn, that made me feel a certain type of way. I want to feel this way tomorrow. So I'll download that. I'll type in how to download YouTube videos. And I'll download that YouTube video. And I'll clip that specific section. And I'll play it over and over so I can keep getting inspired and keep feeling the way that I was feeling when I felt motivated. And that helps me. So hopefully that helps you. Because there's nothing I'm talking about right now that's makes me any different than any of you all. Or anybody else that you see that makes them different. Right? It's just wanting to change and constantly developing yourself and executing. Right? If you went to school and you have a degree, there were steps that you had to take that degree. You didn't wake up one day and just have a degree. You put in some effort every single day, studying, right? Going to classes, passing tests, all these different type of things. It's the same exact thing when it comes to this, weight loss. It's just principles. There's principles and concepts and strategies and plays, right? And execution. All these different things, everything I'm talking about right now, there's strategies for all of it that make it easier for you. But you have to put in the constant work on a day-to-day basis. If you've accomplished a goal, right? If you purchased a house, there was a process for it. You didn't just wake up one day with a brand new house. There was things you had to study. There's things you had to know. For whatever it is, even if it's none of those things, even if it's not school or house or whatever, like you've accomplished something. You've done something with your life. You've gotten an outcome. If you've gotten the woman that you want to be with or the man that you want to be with, like there was a process for that. Whether you do it or not, right? Maybe you woke up that day and you did your hair, or you got a haircut. I need a haircut, actually. Fun fact, I've been cutting my hair since I was 14 years old. Well, I've been lining my hair since I was 14. I've been cutting my hair since I was 15 years old. And I went to the barber shop one time since I was 15. Fun fact. And I'll be 33 in a couple of weeks. So I've been cutting my hair for like 18 years now. Pretty cool. But if you got the person that you want to be with, you married or whatever, there was a process for all those things, right? You done certain things. You made yourself into a person that was desirable, a person that was attracted or attractive, whatever it may be, right? Everything that we do, there's a process for all of it. So keep that in mind and remember that. Whatever the goal is, right? So if you're trying to lose your next 30 pounds, and y'all gotta bear with me, I'll be going on tangents like crazy. This is why I usually have outlines, because I can go on and on and on and on. So hopefully like you all can take something from this. But if you're trying to lose 30 pounds, it is not that difficult. You gotta tell yourself that as well, because that helps you believe it. That helps it make it real, right? When you accept the fact that it's not difficult. Right. Again, going back to Jim Rohn, he has a audio or like a recording on YouTube. Type it in. It's called "Getting Rich is Easy," and something that he says in there is, "Getting rich is easy. It's not hard. It's easy. You just have to work hard at it." Right. So think of fat loss the same way. Losing 30 pounds is easy. You just have to work hard at it, right? You got to do the things that it takes every single day. And if you do those things, the weight loss process is easy. The process of actually losing weight is very simple. It's very easy. You just have to work hard at those things. And those things are exactly what I've been talking about throughout this call, throughout this video, right? Figuring out what those calories are, putting together a meal plan, making sure that you're getting the proper amount of protein, hydrating, exercising, training, working out, doing your grocery shopping, meal prepping. Start with just your lunches. All those things are easy to do. It's not anything difficult, right? You've done grocery shopping before. You've worked out before, whether it was with weights or not, at some point in your life, you know. You've made a meal before. You've done all these things before. There's nothing hard about it. It's easy. You just gotta work hard at it. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this provided some insight for you all, some sort of inspiration, some motivation. But if I can say anything to leave you all with anything, don't let this just be something that you just take was like, oh, that was pretty cool, or damn, that motivated me. Oh man, I feel good now. Yeah, what he's saying, like, use this as your sign to get started. Use this as your sign to start executing tomorrow. Or maybe you've already been executing. Use this as your sign to go harder, right? Maybe you just need like a little wake up call or something. Use this as that. Make sure you tap that like button, hit that subscribe. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all know what to do if you need any help, assistance, all that good stuff. The link in the description. Tap that. The Built by Plans Pocket Coach. Y'all can join for $1. Also, if you all need a one-on-one call, if you need to get locked in with some coaching and such, some assistance, some guidance on reaching your goals, tap that link, schedule your call. I'd love to be able to assist you all, help you with your goals, guide you through the process, give you the assistance, the accountability, the motivation, all those things that you need. All right. In the meantime, I'll probably be back later on this week. Maybe we'll see. We'll do another live. Who knows? But you will be receiving some more videos this upcoming week. Catch y'all next time. Peace.